Hi, Rick here from Marionville Models, DJI dealer from the UK and RC specialist for over 40 years. In this video I'm going to be covering the props on the Inspire. If you had one of the first Inspires that came onto the market, so this would be an Inspire that had on the box either A or B prefix, they would have actually come with the originals type props. Now this is a prop that basically has a thread in here and you have a thread on the shaft. And what you would do to put your propeller on, you just simply put it on and you spun it down, and that's all you had to do, just like in the Phantom. Now unfortunately there were a couple of cases where people didn't put their props on properly. So if I show you, normally with like a DJI Phantom you would just put your prop on and you would spin it down, and that was enough. And as it was a self-tightening propeller, the motor rotating kept the propeller on. Now in the case of here, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I've spun my prop on and there's actually a gap. The prop hasn't actually gone all the way to the bottom. Now it's not a problem, and most people in the know, you would always spin the prop down, hold the motor, and then just rotate the propeller for the last bit till it stops. Give it a little tighten with your fingers pinching on the motor, and that was more than enough, and that's exactly how I fly. Now unfortunately there was a couple of instances where people hadn't spun their props on properly, so unfortunately after a few quick maneuvers the propeller would actually spin off and the Inspire would crash. So first of all, DJI brought out a plastic prop lock that just clipped on over the motor, which was okay but really not the best solution. So what DJI have done is they've brought out the new propeller, which is actually off the E800 propulsion system. Now it's different as it does not have a thread in the bottom. It actually uses a locking mechanism, which is a bit like when you have medicine bottles where you push the cap on, turn it, and then it locks into place. So in this video I'm going to be covering the fitting of these new props. Now if you did buy one of the early Inspire, so you had an A or a B prefix with this type of prop, you'll either have just received or you will be about to receive 3 boxes of props. Now in each box there is a pair of props. You will receive these either if you purchased your Inspire from DJI directly. DJI will send you to them. For those who bought from dealers, your dealer will have been sent all these props for all the Inspires that they have sold to be forwarded on to you. So if you haven't had a set or you haven't been contacted by your dealer, get in touch, because they will actually be supplying you these props free of charge, because DJs like that and they're quite proactive. So you'll get 3 of these boxes, so there's a pair in each box, so you get a full flying set and 1 spare set, and then you will get 2 packets of these. These are the actual locks that actually go onto the motor for the prop to go onto. Now you'll only get 2 packs of these because there's a pair in each pack, so you'll get basically 1 for each, so you only get spare props. Okay, so to do this job, the only tool you're going to need is a 2mm Allen driver. Very handy tool to have. A lot of all the DJI products are held together with these same size screw. So now the props are handed, as you will know if you already have one. So you'll have clockwise and counterclockwise props. Now the props are actually indicated like the old ones, which had like a silver dot or a black dot on top. These are the same, so you're either going to have no dot or you can have a silver dot, and that goes to the corresponding motor. So for example in this case that is a black threaded motor, so we're going to use the black prop. So this prop is as it tells you on just next to the part number, it'll actually tell you there, twist that, you might just see it'll say CW clockwise. So what you do is, if you get your little tray of parts, now these are not handed so they don't matter, but these do. So for example we're going to pick up these, so that's a counterclockwise and that one is a clockwise one. If you actually just, you won't be able to see this probably, but just in there is actually, it tells you CW. So what you do, you simply get one of these. Now depending if you've got an early production Inspire, like this is an early production one, as you can tell by the type of carbon weave on the boom. If you have this sort of general traditional carbon weave, you'll have a model, which is a sort of early production model, but most of the Inspires that are out there have got a more sort of random pattern to the carbon tube, and it'll have a B model on it, which is nothing wrong with it, but it just means your motor will probably just have 2 holes on it rather than the 4 like I've got. So you just drop that over the top, line up your holes, and then again with the adapter over the top, make sure the holes are lined up, and then using the screws provided, which come pre-thread locked on the shaft, see the wee blue bit, that's the thread lock, so that's important. otherwise you end up with your whole adapters and everything coming off. Just kind of go down part of the way, and then the next one, and this makes it easier to line up the second one, just screw that down to, whoops, till it stops, and then nick this up. This would be probably an idea just to now and again get your driver out and just double check they haven't come slack, and then give that a wee tweak, and then that's basically the assembly fitted. And then to fit the prop on, as I say, there's no thread in this, you're not screwing it on, that'll just go on over the top, and you just push that, oops, push down and then lock in place. Now that's on. Now if I tried to fit the wrong prop onto the wrong adapter, it just doesn't work. It goes on, but it's just not going to work. It's just not going to lock on. But obviously, black shaft, black prop, goes down, you push it down, give it a twist. See, I can grab that, and that's it locked on. Now, as it's an all plastic fitting, what I would do if you do have an accident, it is going to be worth checking for any damage on these cams, but more importantly these cams in here. Now you do get instructions with the adapters, but as we're all blokes we won't have read them, but it does tell you in there that you should inspect these pins. So if you're not sure what they're meant to look like, probably worth taking a photograph when they're new, and that way when you inspect them you can see if you damage them, because if those cams were to be damaged, there's no thread in here, it doesn't locate onto there in any way, that's just there now and that passes into that hole, then you could have an instance where the actual prop could actually all fly off. Now the props are exactly the same as the old ones, as in the design and the size, but these ones are actually slightly stiffer than the old ones. I noticed the old ones are a wee bit softer and pliable, probably a wee bit more forgiving in flight, so these ones will be a little bit more responsive. But I've noticed in recent updates that DJI have been tweaking the gains, so they've maybe been tweaking the gains to make them more suitable towards these stiffer props. So just a quick video there, just showing you how to fit your new props when you get them, or if you have just received them. I would just like to thank all my customers that keep buying from me, because without them I wouldn't be able to keep doing these videos. And I do my best to answer all the comments that get left in the comment boxes, but as we have quite a lot of different sources of support between emails and phone calls, etc., I do my best to get around them. I can't obviously answer everyone because there's quite a lot that come through, certainly through YouTube. But if you do have a problem, just fire it up and I'll do my best to answer it. Thanks you very much. Bye.